Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be doing this look and we are going to be using some new Pat McGrath. If you guys want to see what I used and how I got this look, let's go. Alright guys, so I'm starting off with a little bit of corrector under my eyes because my dark circles today are no joke. They are large and in charge, and I really want a nice bright under eye, and by that I don't mean like 3 shades lighter than my foundation. I just mean no darkness. I'm mixing my Pat McGrath foundation with a little bit of the Auric highlighters in Pyrite and in Citrine. I really love the Pat McGrath foundation shade. I think this is like one of my favorite matches. I think mixing it with citrine has made it just a little darker. Usually I think it's a beautiful match, and I'm looking at it now, I'm like, oh, it's a little darker. But I felt that by using Pyrite that it would lighten it some, and this color does not need any lightening because it's a perfect match. Alright guys, so I took some of my Pat McGrath concealer in M15 and I am just going to blend that out with a beauty sponge. Well, this is a beauty blender. I'm going to quickly set my under eye with my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder in Honey, and my lids. I don't know if you guys can see the luminosity, but mixing my foundations with the Auric highlighters, I'm loving it so much. Like, I'm loving just how I can still achieve a matte finish, but it looks so glowy and lit from within. So I have to say I'm really enjoying those. Alright guys, so today we're going to be playing with, I know, you don't have to tell me, Pat McGrath. She came out with another Divine Rose collection, or additions to that collection. I know, you don't have to tell me. I know what I said. So this is the Pat McGrath Labs Divine Rose Luxe Quad Eternal Eden quad. And this is what the packaging looks like. It's super cute. I know what I said, and I'm gonna say it again. I think they're not the same as any of her other shades. These lean a little more pinky lavender, but I really think, like, let it go. The Divine Rose collection, let it rest. It has everything that it needs. It doesn't need anything else, but she could very well prove me wrong. I'm gonna start off by taking the pink shade in this palette, and I'm going to dust that in the crease. So I saw the swatches and I'm like, wow, like, look at how pretty that is. And honestly, like, in the quads and in her larger palettes that she released, they don't have anything like these. And I'm like, they're really pretty rosy shades. I think that if you like those kinds of shades, you're going to love this palette because it's definitely very wearable. But I didn't need it. I said, I know. I didn't need it. And she just got me. It's Pat McGrath. You guys know how I feel about Pat McGrath. I love her. I love her products. And honestly, like, she just never disappoints. Like, the colors are played out, I guess, at this point because there's just so much pink happening, and I'm ready to see something different from her, which I'm sure, I can just imagine come summertime, she's probably going to release one of her larger palettes and it's going to be amazing. But I'm over the pink tones as I'm applying pink tones. It's just, you won't be disappointed. Like, look at how pigmented this is and how smooth and how easily it's blending out. You know, she's popular for a reason. The lady knows what she's doing. I mean, we gotta give her that. I think I'm gonna take this shade here, and with the same brush, I'm going to apply it to the outer and inner corner. Yeah, this is pretty. And I'm just going to take a clean blending brush and blend that out This is looking kind of bruised. I'm gonna go in with the pink shade again and then just buff that into the corner, bring that down lower into the lid, just so that the pink and purple blend together. And then I'm going to use my clean brush again and blend these edges out. Just really make sure that everything is blending nicely together. So there's two shimmer shades. You have this one here that's more like a frost, and then you have this one here that's more of like a textured glittery shade. And I'm going to take this shade here and with my finger, it's pretty. Oh wow. This is really pretty. This is like a purpley shade that reflects pink. Like, it's very pretty. And that's the thing with Pat McGrath, like her shades are not all unique, but more often than not you're going to find shades like these that just really stand out and make, you know, the look amazing. I'm gonna take it all the way in. Yeah, that was perfect. Ah, it looks so freaking pretty. I'm gonna just bring that color all the way across the lid. And so we'll get like a different shift of color because I used the purple on the outer and inner corner, and then the center was pretty bare. So this looks really pretty. I love it. And then using my foundation brush, I'm going to clean up these edges. So I just like to run my brush and clean up the outer corners so that I have a little bit more of a lifted effect. Taking a flat brush, I'm going to take the pink shade in this palette and I'm going to pop it in the inner corner. And then before I do anything else to the eye look, I'm going to take the highlighter in this collection, which is really what kind of pushed me into this purchase. This is in Divine Rose, and this is what it looks like. It's a pink gold shift color, and this is supposed to be like a cream to powder finish. I haven't played with it, to be honest with you. This will be the first time, but so far so good. It's very soft. It's not like a really intense highlighter. Let me show you. Oh, I mean, you can see it. Just so you see. It is really pretty. I was concerned that it was going to pull more pink. Some people were saying that, but some people were also lighter than me. So I think that's why. But on me, I definitely see more of the gold. And it is a really nice, no, mine feels like a powder. It doesn't feel like a jelly at all. Some people were saying it was like a putty formula. I don't get that. Unless I got a bad one. But mine is definitely a powder. Alright guys, so this is what the eye makeup is looking like. I thought about doing an eyeliner, but honestly I just really love how soft it is, and I just didn't want to add anything that was going to be too harsh. And honestly, I like the way that it looks. So we are going to now move on to contouring. I'm going to take my Huda Beauty Tantour in Light, and I am going to be using this brush by MAC. This was a dual hair brush, so you have a natural hair and then synthetic. And back in the day, I didn't really appreciate this as much as I do now. But it's probably because I really didn't use cream products, and lately you guys know that I'm actually enjoying them, and I'm just taking whatever's left over and then bringing it up into my forehead. I also like to take it down the sides of my nose like this. I know it's crazy because it's such a big brush, but it actually works for me. I moved my lash and it's still drying, so if I don't move it, it's going to stay stuck. And this is my Charlotte Tilbury push-up mascara. After my NARS one dried, and it lasted a long time. I even used the Eclat Duraline to kind of freshen it up some. once it was done, I decided I wanted to go back to Charlotte Tilbury just to kind of figure out which I liked better. And honestly, I think it might be, it's a Tide. Like, they do different things. I'm gonna go back in with a highlighter and just freshen up these little areas here. I don't know why, I feel like my face looks dirty. No sé, no sé. I'm gonna take some of my Fenty powder. Here, here, nose, forehead, here. It's like a little patch right here that's bugging the crap out of me. So this collection came with 2 liquid lipsticks, which I already owned from way back in the day. And they are honestly the same colors, they're just named differently. So I'm going to show you guys the nude one, which I thought maybe this would be the shade I would use today, but nah. And then the other shade, which is, I think it's the one that she calls Divine Rose. They're the same, guys, like they're the same. So I did end up getting them, but I think I'm going to do a giveaway with them. But this is what they look like. And she also has Buff liner in this collection, so I'm going to use Buff and I'm going to use Divine Rose. The packaging on the new liquid lipsticks is much nicer. Like back in the day, they were just like very basic, clear. These just look nicer. They have a little bit more detailed. So I'm taking Divine Rose. And you just need the thinnest application. With this formula, if you build it up a ton, it's going to bunch up and look really dry. You want to make sure that you don't build it up, and if you're going to reapply it, take it off and then reapply. She also released her Divine Rose lipstick. So I ended up ordering a bundle because it's what made most sense in terms of money. This is what it looks like. Let me swatch it for you guys. There it is. It's a really pretty beigey pink. It would look amazing with Buff. I ended up getting a bundle. It had the 2 lip pencils, the 2 liquid lipsticks, the 1 eyeliner, the eyeshadow, the highlighter, and then the lipstick. And when I started to add up the products individually, the ones that I wanted, it really just made most sense to get the bundle. And I figured that the liquid lipsticks would be exactly the same as the old ones because the colors are really nice. They didn't do well, I remember, and I think it was because people were saying that they're very drying. So if you're not a fan of like a drier formula, you're not going to like these, because as you guys can see, it's already looking a little dry. It doesn't bother me. I had on a balm, so if you prep your lips before applying it, you should be fine. But people didn't like that they were dry. They didn't do very well. And I think now she's gained enough popularity and trust from her community that she, you know, this is the perfect time to re-release them. Again, the shades are beautiful and there's nothing wrong with them. It's just they were launched when she first launched, and I have them. They're exactly the same shades. They're just named differently. So I went on a tangent and I have to put blush on. So I'm going to do No Shame by MAC, which is a bright pink. Let me show you. The collection itself is really pretty. I think that if you don't have all of her Divine Rose palettes, that this would be a nice one to add, because as you guys can see, like, it gave me a really pretty soft pinky purple look, and it is, you know, soft, but it's also intense enough to where you could get a dramatic look from it. I don't necessarily think you need to run out and get the palette, not because there's anything wrong with it, but because, again, if you own her palettes from the Divine Rose and Divine Rose 2 collection, you don't really need this. Like, these are just like additions to the line. They're not necessarily like unique to the collection. Again, you won't find any similar colors, not when you swatch them at least. So you'd be safe in that sense, where you wouldn't buy it and be like, oh, I already have this color. It's not like that at all. But The colors are not really unique. They're the same pinky, you know, mauve tones that we've seen in her palette. They're beautiful. They perform really well. Like, I don't have anything bad to say about them. But again, if you have it, you don't need it. If you want it and you don't have her palette, I would say go for it. You won't be disappointed. It is stunning, but they're not, we're over the pinks. So here is what the final look turned out to be. I really love the way that this look turned out. I love everything about it. Again, the collection is beautiful. It's not anything unique. It's not anything that I feel like you need to run out and get. But if you are interested in the collection, you won't be disappointed. The liquid lipsticks are, I don't think they're uncomfortable. I don't think they're uncomfortable. But again, I prepped my lips. I had balm on, and then I just went right over the balm with the pencil and the liquid lipstick. They're beautiful, but if you purchased them when she first launched her brand, then you own them. If you never got them and wanted them, get them. They're beautiful, they're comfortable. They are a little bit drier, so they will enhance the lines on your lips. If you're used to liquid lipsticks, then you're used to this feeling. In terms of the highlighter, which is what I was most excited for, it is very soft and subtle, but as you guys can see, like, it still packs a punch. The high points of my face look very highlighted, but you don't see it. Like, I don't see the highlight on my face looking into the mirror, which is why I said, oh, let me go back in with more. But when I look into my monitor here, I can see that it is very present. It's just not as intense and in your face, which is something that I like. I have been steering away from highlighter for some time, especially really intense highlighter. So I do like that this is just a little bit softer. And that's all I have to say for this collection. I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial and my little mini review on it. I've had this collection for about a week now, and I hadn't touched it because I'm like, no, I'm gonna film with it. I'm gonna film. I needed to find my vision, like what I wanted to do with it. And to be honest with you guys, I really love the way that it turned out. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Please be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and like this video. Leave me a comment down below. Did you pick this up? Are you over it? What are your thoughts on the Pat McGrath Divine Rose 1 and 2 collection? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.